Reactive training systems.
But I guess what I'm trying to get at is like on one to 10, like how awesome is training as you're coming into those final blocks?
So what was interesting was my comeback meet in June, which was a charity event and such an amazing experience, and really blessed to be able to share the platform with Nathan. That was a lot of fun at his first meet. So it was just checks the box, for everything, right? Like altruistic, it's your comeback, got the family there, got your friends there, got clients there. I mean, it's like, what better of a day? I still say it's my favorite meet I've ever done, which is cool. Um, so coming off that prep for that meet, there were definitely some issues and I was pretty banged up. I dropped like a deadlift that should be a single out of 6 or a single out of 7. In fact, actually, it was lighter than my opener at this meet. I dropped it 4 times in training because my hand kept opening up from nerve issues in my neck. And which kind of got me thinking, like, I need to put some serious attention into everything Nathan's saying. Like, I was doing the things, but now I really got to do the things. You know what I'm saying? And that was in the corner of my head. So that was the first thing I started doing different. When I started doing that and I started looking at the numbers and looking at what was working, running block reports and looking at the meta to kind of parse out the details, I started to uncover this really cool, like 3-block rhythm or 2-block rhythm, really. And I was in this weird space where it was like, well, I can run, we call it like a tier 2 block here at RTS, where it's like you're aiming for as fast rate of gain as you can get sustainably, but like as fast as you can get. And you're looking at like a tier 1, what gets you ready for peak performance. That's your tier 1. I was in this spot where I needed 3 blocks and I didn't want to swing in like this weird direction of something I've never explored. So I made a decision to go, well, let me try run the tier 2 right after the meet in June. And let's do a hybrid of like tier 2 and tier 1 in between the two. And let's see what happens. The worst that happens is it's not so good. You learn from it and move on. And I've never done that before. So it's almost like a terracing effect. You've called that kind of, Mike, in the Programming with Emerging Strategies course. And what was neat about that was certain lifts sustained really well. Some actually gained quite well, which I had to take note of, and I was not prepared for that. And then others were kind of on a downward a little bit. And then once I hit the tier 1, it was novel enough now that it was still different. So to answer your question, in the tier 2 block, things were dynamite. Things were like on fire, and I was feeling like me back in 2017, 2018. I was feeling like me again. And that felt so cool. And I attribute a lot of that to the experimentation, the data collection, and then also working with Nathan to like kind of get this together, like do these things, John, and put together a plan and progress it. So, I mean, I was in contact with Nathan pretty regularly. We were talking through some stuff. When symptoms would show back up, we were working together and looking at ways to progress it even further. And so I had a little bit of an inclination in that block. And there's that middle block in between the tier 2 and tier 1, where it was like, it might be a repeat performance. We'll see how things go. And then coming into tier 1, everything was looking really good up to the week of training or up to the week of competition. And of course, Mike, you've been here before. I mean, I remember 23 nationals having this conversation with you. And it's like you were 8 days out and you hurt your back, right? It was 8 days, wasn't it?
Yeah, something very close like that.
Yeah. And so you had a very similar thing go on. I went down weird on a squat and I felt my knee flare up. It initially wasn't like a back thing, but I kind of went about the training and was just cautious of it. Didn't do anything drastic that Monday of the meet, the meet week. And then I went over to do the rest of the training, and then I went to do leg press. And then my knee felt like it was really in bad shape, shut everything down, left. And Nathan jumped on with me that evening, gave me some immediate things to do. We had a longer conversation the day after Tuesday. He gave me concrete things to do for the rest of the week. And quite honestly, I mean, on Thursday and Friday, I was thinking about pulling out of the meet. I was not sure how it was going to go. Now, at that point, the same thing that you went through, Mike, like you were kind of back and forth, like, I don't know how this is going to go. And I saw it through because, quite quite honestly, I had an athlete who was competing on Sunday and I had to be there anyway. And I figured, why not? Like, this is an opportunity. And if I got to take a token squat and push the heck out of the bench, we'll give it a shot and see how it goes. And I really didn't know. And it wasn't until Saturday morning, 1 hour before weigh-in, that Nathan was progressing things and we found the thing. It took a bit, but we found the thing. And then I said, well, I'm going to open intentionally light and I'm going to space myself like 10 kilo-ish jumps, which will give me enough room to make adjustments if I need to. So I kind of took like an any day number that I can open with and say, well, we'll figure it out from here. Interesting. I've never worked with the handler before. And it turned out great. He was awesome. He was so good. It was a recommendation from Coach Kenny, and shout out to him for this, and we can link him in the show notes and stuff. But it was great. And what ended up happening was we opened, and opening felt good, but I had to go right back to the exercises that Nathan gave me immediately. I'm to the wall and I'm doing the weird things and trying to hide off so no one sees me. And then I told him, I'm like, it didn't feel great. Let's go with middle of the road second, because I'm just not sure how this is going to go. And if we need to, we might scrap it. We get the second attempt and it's better than my opener. It flew. And I was a bit more aggressive with the exercises that Nathan gave me. And I was doing them with a regular cadence. There was enough time because there was youth in my class, in my flight. So there was enough time because of all the adjustments I had to do with bars for me to be able to do a few more rounds of the exercise. So that actually, I think, played to my favor. And then I took the second attempt, and it was very, very clear that day that third it was worth it to load up a PR opportunity. I was scared. I was truly scared walking it out because I didn't know how it was going to go. I didn't know if I was going to be in pain, and I wasn't at all. And it was really, really cool. It was super exciting. I think I jumped up in the air, and the handler Nick grabbed me and carried me off because he's much bigger than me. It was quite funny. But the thing about that is, it was just like a repeat of you, Mike, in Nationals of 23 of you don't know how it's going to go. And I remember us talking about that going, hey, a lot can happen in a few days, especially with, and I'm sure Nathan, you can talk about this with the derangement. A lot can happen in a few days with proper treatment and progression, and your body is incredibly adaptable. So I don't know. Did you have any sense of that, Nathan? Did you think that I was going to be able to step on a platform? What was your, as you were talking with me, were you kind of oh no, I don't know how this is going to go?
The symptoms are very variable. And, from our internal training here at RTS, you kind of seen that my characteristic of one of these classifications for either local knee pain or knee pain coming from the back is this characteristic of variability. And you, as you recall, you're messaging me, you're sending me videos of you extending and flexing your knee, you're pointing to the spot, but you're pointing to different spots in the knee. So the pain is jumping around. I'm like, did he tear something in the knee? Unlikely. The mechanism, even if he tripped forward, the pain would have been very consistently at one spot. And our first assessment was, let's give this 24 hours. As you recall, I was looking back to the messages with you in preparation for this call. I told you, let's let this acute kind of, oh my God, something happened, calm down, because you messaged me. Let's take some anti-inflammatories. Let's just see what happens over the course of the next 24 hours. I gave you some initial things to do. We assessed the motion of the knee. I was initially thinking maybe this is a knee, maybe something is going on, but I at least want to go back to some of the back interventions that we'd done. We gave you some initial back interventions. Those seemed to make some positive difference. And you actually had a good squat session earlier in the week, but then, come right before the competition, it's back. And I'm like, okay, there's something going on here. This is not characteristic of a local knee problem. I think this is a back problem, and I think it's modifiable in quick order. It really just came down to you messaging me that morning and going, you know what, I just don't feel confident in this knee. And me going, okay, I've tried this, I've tried this, I've tried this. It hasn't worked. This is where we have to go. Here's the logical conclusion. And even though it happened an hour before, we found the correct one. We just had to go through a process of elimination to find that correct intervention. And like I said, you were able to get to the point where you could compete with almost no pain, and no pain by your second and third attempt. So yeah, we were able to find it. It's pretty wild that it improved
in that. Like usually you don't see those kinds of improvements like from the opener, usually if it's bugging you on the opener, it's like, well, not being worse would be a win, so that's pretty impressive to feel better as your attempts go on.
It was a credit to John to sticking with the movement and being confident and not giving up on his attempts and making sure he was going to continue to finish out and really accept what was there on the day, but try.
Shh. There is a secret to great training programs, but it's not a magic set and rep scheme or this one weird exercise that powerlifting pros don't want you to know about. The secret is in your training log. You see, years ago, we began developing tools to help you unlock these secrets, and we've been putting them online for free ever since. That's right, it's free for everybody. Now you may be thinking, what's the big deal? People have been logging training forever, and you're right. But the secret isn't just in keeping a logbook, it's using that log to make better training decisions. That's the real secret. This is where the RTS training log excels. You haven't done SSB squats in 3 months and you're wondering what your target weight should be? We can help you with that. Did you overshoot on your top set and you're wondering if you should adjust your back offsets? We can help you with that too. Are you building the most important training block of this year and you're wondering what your most highly effective blocks have in common? Yep, we got you covered there too. There's more, there's a lot more. And yes, it is all free. Not just a free trial, not free with ads, just regular free. You go to reactivetrainingsystems.com, then you click on apps, sign up for a login, and you're in.